This is KUGAN CASSIUS Rifle TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. I'm in the lovely residence of Mr. Nick Blackwell here, all the way in Trowbridge. I think this is probably the first time, Nick, I've ever been here.
Be the last time?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so, no. But it is a bit.
You Nando's all that.
You did. You got the protein out, so very grateful to you. But yeah, it's the first time we've had a chance to speak to you since before the Eubanks fight. From the night itself, Nick, what do you remember, if you remember anything at all about anything to do with the night?
I can remember walking to the arena. I can remember being in the change room warming up. Can't remember anything to do with the fight. Can't remember anything. Had a little flashback of where Eubanks was hitting me. And then went over to Tyson Fury, Billy Joe Saunders, and started speaking to them. And then I threw a shot back, and after that point, it just total blank.
You obviously, the fight, was called off by the referee due to your swollen eye. Do you remember the point where you were standing in the middle of the ring with the referee and Chris Eubanks Jr.? Do you remember that point?
No, I can't remember any of that. Getting the swollen eye was a blessing in disguise. Because I took 2 more rounds of getting a punch in the face. The further I went on, the more punches I was taking. I might not be here talking to you right now, not being the same sort of person. So it was a blessing in disguise that the swelling did come up and the referee did stop it.
And I know you're saying you don't remember anything about the fight, but is there not aspects of the fight during while it was going on? Do you not get flashbacks of that, of any rounds in the fight at all? No.
The only thing I said is when he was hitting me, caught him with a shot. He was hitting me, and then he backed away, said something to Tyson Fury and Billy Joe, and that was the only bit I can remember in my head. The next thing I remember, I woke up in hospital.
So, since that time, it obviously has been a very traumatic period of time for yourself, your family, your friends, your promotional company as well, who come under the term of your friends as well. But you decided to give your first sort of visual interview back with Piers Morgan on, is it Good Morning Britain?
Yeah, Good Morning Britain.
Good Morning Britain. Why was it then, Nick, and why did you decide to do it with Piers Morgan and Good Morning Britain?
I got advice to do it, and it was quite a long period of time after the whole incident happened. But obviously, I wasn't in a place to do it, and they kept writing to McKenzie saying, "Can you come on the show?" So we went on the show. Sorry, and yeah, I wanted just that people coming up to me on the street, even in Trowbridge, said, "I never used to like Chris Senior, but he saved your life," and I like him because he saved your life, and I was like, he wasn't. It was more tactical. And they're telling Eubanks Jr. in the 8th round to go to my body because he wouldn't stop me to the head. But in the 10th round, said he wanted to knock me out and get me out of there. He don't want to go to points. I just wanted to get my point across on there to say he wasn't there to save my life. Obviously, hindsight, no one knows I was going to go into a coma. If you knew you were hitting someone in the head and it was hurting them, you keep hitting them in the head to win the fight. But yeah, I just went on the show. Mick told me to be a good thing to get my point across. I was in there. They come in the room before and told me I couldn't say that, couldn't say this. You got to say this. Basically, told me what to say. So I couldn't get my point across. Which I know Piers Morgan's is pally with Senior. So yeah, it was just a disaster.
I mean, watching that interview sort of from I don't know, a neutral perspective, or probably not the best person to answer from a neutral perspective, but it seemed as though the agenda from Piers Morgan was a defence of Chris Eubanks and Chris Eubanks Jr. Ahead of your welfare. Is that the sort of way it come across when you were sitting down?
I don't know. I think some people think I was slating Eubanks Senior for saying that he didn't save my life, and Piers Morgan's obviously he believed that he did save my life and was moaning that I was slating him because he did actually generally think he saved my life. But I was there to say that it was more tactical. But yeah, it just got twisted up. The whole thing got twisted up, and I wasn't. Yeah.
We've all heard Chris Eubanks Senior's comments about this whole thing about telling Chris Jr. to go to the body rather than the head. Does any part of you think at all that Chris Eubanks Senior, based on what he's gone through in his career, the whole Michael Watson thing, that he saw something, that any part of you that believes that that could be the case, or not at all?
No, I don't. And you're in a fight, yeah, you're in there to hurt each other. No one knew that I was going to be put into a coma. Obviously, if you knew the sort of the future, you know, I know I was going to coma, then yeah, maybe you think, yeah, fair play, you know. But no one knows what's going to happen. You don't ever expect that to happen. I didn't ever expect that's going to happen to me, or if it happened to Chris, you know. He said to hit me to the body because he wasn't stopping me to the head. And in the 10th round, he did say, you need to get Nick Blackwell out of it. We don't want us going to points. So if he was there to save my life, he wouldn't have said that. You're in there to hurt each other. It's a fight. You know, you're in there to try and knock each other out. And yeah, so I just don't believe that, you know, he was generally, you know, worried about my health. He didn't know I was going into a coma.
He said in the press conference, which we'll obviously come on to after, that they done on the Monday, that the decision, or his instructions rather, to Junior were both tactical and compassionate. But like I said, the compassionate side of it is, in your eyes, irrelevant. It was solely tactical.
Yeah, if I was in there and Gary Lockett was telling me to hit Chris Eubanks Jr. to the body because I was hurting him to the head, it wouldn't make sense. Not if I knew I was hurting him to the head, I'd keep hitting him to the head. And if I was that badly injured, the referee would have stopped it. Gary Lockett would have threw the towel in. You know, nobody knew what was going to happen to me after the fight.
Your trainer Gary Lockett, who's one of the best trainers that this country has experience in pulling fighters out of fights. You know, we spoke about this earlier on in, you know, with Gavin Rees, he did it with Adrian Broner in America. Do you believe that the criticism, or minority criticism towards Gary Lockett not pulling you out, is very, very unfair?
I think it's unfair. If I went 12 rounds with Eubanks, people would say it was a good fight because I got put in a coma. People said he should have pulled me out. The referee should have stopped the fight. Gary Lockett, like I said, he's through the towel with Gavin Rees. He's an experienced man. He's there for my welfare, my health. You know, he knows I come strong late on in the fights. And Eubanks was tiring in the 8th, 9th, and 10th. So that's why he kept me in there. You know, I've always had a punch chance. I can punch quite hard, and you know, it could have happened. You know, I wanted to win that British title outright. He knows how much that meant to me. But again, he didn't know I was going to be put into a coma. You know, it's just nobody knew that was going to happen. If he did, he would have pulled me out. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's very. I find it, people who sort of having a pop at Gary over this, just are way off the mark with it, because, like I said, there's no better person from a boxing viewpoint that knows you better in that position than Gary Lockett. So, like you said, if he thought for 1 second that you needed to be pulled out, he would have pulled you out.
Exactly. Gary's he's there for my well-being. You know, Gary's not just the trainer; he's like a friend. He's part of the family. You know, if he knew what was going to happen to me, he would have pulled me out rounds and rounds ago. But you know, it's a fight, and you go in there. You know, sort of fight around, come strong in the later rounds. And I wanted to keep that British title for outright, to keeps. But you know, what's happened has happened. It's all been done now. You know, Gary can get on. You know, with the lads that he's got from Cardiff, and I'm going to still go up. You know, be part of the team still. You know, so it's all positives.
I want to talk about the press conference that the Eubanks held on the Monday, I believe, after that fight night. Obviously, it's become clear now that your family, Mick Hennessy, did not want that to take place. And you was obviously unaware of this, being in the coma. So when did you first learn about this, about, like I said, this press conference situation, that from your family side and Mick Hennessy's side, that they did not want this to go ahead, which went ahead anyway?
Yeah, I woke up and people were telling me what happened, but you know, when you come out of the coma, you can't remember anything. You know, one thing goes through one ear, one goes out the other, and I just totally forgot. So yeah, and then I got given my iPad, and I went on social media. And I got told Eubanks Jr. wanted to come see me, and I at the time wanted to see him. So I ripped to him on Twitter. I said, "No hard feelings, bro. You know, yeah, I'd love to come see you. You know." And I genuinely did want to see him, and I said to him, "Yeah, bring him up." And people were like, my family and friends were like, "No chance. He's not coming here." And I just couldn't work out why they wouldn't let him come up. But when I started getting better. My head started getting better. I could remember little bits and bobs, and I was sat down and told what exactly happened, what my family went through, and just respect for my family. I didn't want Eubank coming to see me because it would have put them in even more of a worse place for what his dad done and said to affect my family when they were in a bad enough position or what it was, so.
Obviously, the program you went on, they went on as well, and I mean, rightly so. They were sort of given the opportunity to defend themselves from things that you said. Was there anything in that interview that they done with Piers Morgan that upset you, or you thought that wasn't right?
It seemed like Piers, Piers Morgan's like he's mates with Eubank Senior, and it was more defending them. But it's just I'm bored of the whole Eubank situation. Talk about the Eubanks. It's just it's done now. It's been done ages ago. And every time I have an interview with you or someone, if I get a Sky Sports or whatever, it wasn't nothing to be said about the Eubanks, but then the last thing was a question about the Eubanks, And it does seem like I'm going on about the Eubanks, but I really it's done and dusted with the whole Eubank situation. Have I seen Eubank at a fight? I got up to him and said hello. I ain't got any hard feelings against Eubank Jr. Just at the time, I just wasn't happy with what they'd done to my family and my friends.
Yeah, I just want to point out that obviously because we hadn't spoken to you up until this point, that I wanted to ask you about certain things to do with the Eubanks. When I spoke to you on the phone today, and even earlier on, you did make it clear to me that this kind of situation is over with, and that you are getting sick of talking about the same thing. You want to kind of move on from it. So,
I am. I think everyone else is. Like I said, I've done a few interviews ages and ages ago. They keep spoon feeding it out on social media and stuff, and it looks like I'm still talking about the whole Eubank situation, But in my head, it's done and dusted. It is what it is, and I'm fortunate to be where I am, and got my health back 100%. So there's no hard feelings there.
What happens if you see senior or junior?
They come up to me, and speak to them. And like I said, I haven't got. When I woke up from the coma and people tell me what they'd done, I actually got better. I thought, it's just I didn't expect nothing less from them, because I know that's what they're like, But I sparred with Eubank Jr. 3 years ago, and I sat down after sparring to chat to him. He's actually, he's actually quite a nice lad. He is actually an alright lad. But his old man, his old man's his old man. He's always in the media, and that's what he's about. And he's very good at being in the media, and he's very good at working things his way. And if you look at it in that way, I look like I've come out the bad guy, out of the whole situation. He's come out the good guy for apparently saving my life, and I've looked the bad guy for saying horrible things about him after. But fair play, he's clever at that aspect of stuff. But I haven't got no hard feelings against either of them. It's not if he came up to me and said hello and I would ignore him. It is what it is.
I mean, I will say one thing. I do believe that Chris Eubank Jr. has conducted himself accordingly and in the right way since that night via social media or however. I do believe from what I've seen that he has conducted himself how he should conduct himself. So
exactly like I said, he's actually Eubank Jr. If it's not around his old man so much, he is a really nice kiddie. He's quite a decent kid. So I sat down with him after sparring, and we had a good chat. And I wanted him to come and see me in hospital. My family obviously didn't. That's all the reason why that didn't happen.
So when you obviously you woke from the induced coma, which was a great sight, if you understand what I mean, for everyone to see the picture that your friend tweeted out, which wasn't actually me. It wasn't me in the picture. I think the Daily Mail made a wrong on there, but that picture, it went around everywhere, and it was where everyone was waiting to hear news. It was great just to see you sitting up in bed with your eyes open. Yeah. And I think it was a picture, like I said, that went sort of global, and everyone sort of was pleased to see that. When you did wake up from your coma, what do you remember about that period?
So I didn't even realise I was asleep the whole time. I was having such strong dreams. I don't know what drugs they were giving me. I was having such strong dreams. I felt like I was awake the whole time. And the more they're real, like the dreams to start with are like depressing. Just wanted to get out. I felt like I was in a hostel. Wasn't getting looked after right. The further dreams looked like I remember the last one being Toys of Fury, picking me up on the shoulder and getting me out of this hostel. I thought it was a hostel, and putting me in a decent hospital and a gym, and I was getting better. And then I can remember the next day, I think it was, I woke up and I felt good. It was like more positive. I felt positive about everything. And yeah, it's really, really weird. I had some real strong dreams that I actually generally thought was real. And I was, yeah, it was just weird feelings. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. When I had mates around me when I was asleep and they were talking to me, I was having dreams about that person. And it was just, and when I woke up, I was like, oh, cheers for trying to get me out of the hospital, mate. You know, but obviously they didn't. They were telling me when I was asleep like they were going to get me out of there. But and obviously now I was dreaming it. Really weird.
What was your first sort of recollection of whether it was the doctor or someone from your family telling you what had actually happened to you? Do you remember any of that?
I remember Gary Lockett sitting down and cause Gary Lockett, you know, he was there every day with me. I was really lucky. I had all my friends, my family, you know, everyone was there every day, you know, to support me. Gary Lockett sat down and said, I obviously thought I got knocked out. I know I had a fight. I thought I got knocked out. And he said, no, you didn't get knocked out. You just collapsed at the end of the fight. So that was a bit of a shock to me. You know, when I woke up, I knew I had a fight, and I looked at Gary and went, give me a month, mate, I'll be back in the gym. That's the first thing I said to him. But then he told me obviously I couldn't box again, and obviously I forgot about that. And then when it sunk in, I was like, you know, it hit me a bit hard at the time. You know, I couldn't fight again, but you know, move on. You know, when I could feel my health getting better and better every day as well. So that was a positive. I was looking around and the people in the hospital. When I woke up, I felt sorry for myself, and then when I looked around, I realised that I was probably the best one in that whole ward. There was people around me in a real bad way. The bloke next to me died, and his family were around, you know, crying. It was horrible. You know, when I got taken out of that ward, put something different. You know, reality hit home and thought, you know, I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to, you know, feeling better and better every single day. And it's the little things you take for granted, you know, just, it's crazy just talking to someone, standing. I couldn't walk properly, couldn't talk, I wasn't eating. I woke up 9.5 stone, I was probably skinny. Yeah, it was a massive eye opener, you know, and it wasn't nice to see it for myself when I woke up. So imagine what my family were going through, my friends going through, when they see me in that bed, you know, didn't know if I was going to wake up. And when I did, the doctor saying to him, this is probably the best he's ever going to be. You know, be ready for that. You know, it might not ever get better than this. You know, so I thought it was hard, but it must have been harder, 10 times harder for my friends, my family who are actually there to see me every single day.
To be put bluntly, you're very fortunate and lucky to be alive, and you know, God willing, that's the case. But has it hit you yet that what you've been doing your whole life, you won't be able to do again?
No. I'm quite a positive person, you know, so I'm gonna be positive about what's happened, and I believe everything happens for a reason. So I've always wanted to open up my own gym. I want to do that. I still want to be involved in the boxing, get my trainer's license, help Gary Lockett and the lads up in the gym, be in the corner. There's a few lads up there who will be world champs. One of them being Liam Williams, you know, and he's been in my corner every single one of my fights. So the least I could do is be in his corner. Got there, do some training. You know, there's more to life than boxing, isn't there? You know that. You know, there's loads more to life. So yeah, I'm just enjoying myself, do stuff that I want to enjoy. I enjoy doing, like open up a gym, just getting people fit, training lads as well. So yeah, I've got loads of things that I want to do.
Obviously, the highlight of your career was your British title win against John Ryder. Will you look back and be satisfied with the professional career you had?
Yeah, 100%. I never thought I was going to be a professional boxer when I first started boxing. I went to the gym just to get fit, a bit of self-defense, and I started fighting a license. Then loved doing that. Highlight of my career was turning pro, and then I won the English title. Then I fought Martin Murray for the British. Thought I was invincible. And I got beat, you know. Then reality hit home. Then I fought Billy Joe, Max Brazil. But John Ryder was the best one of my careers. John Ryder's a great fighter, great fighter. He was outboxing me, but boxing my head off the first 3 or 4 rounds, and I just kept wearing him down, and caught him with some good shots. So that was definitely the highlight of my career, 100%. And meeting Gary Lockett as well, you know, teaming up with Gary Lockett. My career went on to a different route then, and yeah, I got better as a fighter.
Because there were sort of points early on in your career where people were kind of tagging you as a journeyman.
Yeah.
I don't mean that disrespectfully.
Yeah, no,
I don't mean that, no disrespect to journeyman either, but that's what it was. And
yeah.
I think the more people sort of were seeing you fight and hearing people like Billy Joe Saunders 3 years ago saying that this is the toughest fight I've had, and a lot of people saying that it wasn't the case, was it?
No, do you know what? I was one of them to never say no. If a fight come up, I'd take the fight. If I had 2 weeks training camp, if I had 10 weeks training camp, I'd say, yeah, I'm fighting. But yeah, I can understand why you and other people think that I was going down that route, because I would say yes to a fight and keep losing and keep going on. It could have went that way, and I felt like where I was back in the gym, back at home, here in Trowbridge, I wasn't getting any better. Hence why I went with Gary Lockett, knew I had the British title shot kind of with John Ryder. I just needed to up my game a little bit, and that's what we've done, and it gave me that win over John Ryder. But I wouldn't have changed my career, that sort of fighter I was. I'd go in there and just say yeah, and fight anyone.
Where do you see yourself in 3 years from now?
3 years from now, happy. I'll be hopefully have a successful gym, not just for boxing, but just for people that do want to get fit, get healthy, just enjoying life, having a social life. Gone on a few holidays. I've been on holiday for 10 years. I just put all my just everything into boxing these last 10 years. I've just put everything into the holidays I've been on. To my best, the MGM, and that was me training out in MGM. I was still training.
Well, listen, like I said to you, our friends from Marbella have made you an offer. You're not fighting, but said you're very welcome to come out there. I'll take them up on that.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'll probably take you up on the offer.
Yeah, no.
Go out to a bit of training, chill out the sun.
Get in touch and make sure it's sorted out.
Yeah,
you ain't been on holiday in how long?
10 years now.
10 years.
I went out to the MGM.
And you live here in Trowbridge.
I live in Trowbridge, mate. Yeah, I need holiday. But when I went out to MGM and I was sparring Macklin, because he was supposed to fight Daniel Gill, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was out there sparring but it felt like a holiday to me. It was like a perfect holiday. I was there for nearly 4 weeks, training in the sun, sparring. That was good. Didn't go out or anything like that, so it wasn't a proper holiday, but it felt the nearest thing to a holiday. So.
I've got to ask you, Nick. We heard that your brother Dan had also retired from the sport. Was that his decision based on his own career, or because of what happened to you?
I think it was for what happened with me. He's got 2 kids now, and obviously how my family felt for the position that I was in. He didn't want to put himself in that position for us and for his girlfriend and his two kids. Imagine, them having to bring themselves up if my brother ever got in that situation, and not waking up, So it was a bit of an eye opener for him as well, and seeing me in that sort of state, So yeah, you're not boxing on the head, but I'm trying to get him back in, because it's different, What I was doing is 12-round fight against world class fighters. So my brother was doing 4 6-rounders. He's a journeyman. He's in there to look after people who've had 1 or 2 fights, so they're quite raw. My brother's tough, so I'm just trying to get him back into it, see what he says. I think he will.
Nick, also, obviously, while this difficult time was going on for yourself, there were a lot of people in boxing that were doing very positive things to sort of help you, knowing that you weren't going to be able to box again. People like Adam Etches started a Just Giving page, raised £10,000 plus. David Hay donated a percentage of his purse for his last fight to you. I mean, it must be overwhelming, the support you've had. I've mentioned 2 boxers there, but from the whole boxing community and all your sort of, let's call them fans, whatever, friends, family, fans, everyone.
It was crazy, and I had my iPad and I was just looking at the messages that people were sending through, and I felt like crying. I was not, I couldn't believe it. I lost the fight and I got put in a coma, and I just thought, whatever. Then I like seeing how much support I had, all the boxers coming together, like big family, all the supporters, all the fans. It was it hit me quite hard. Like got quite emotional. It was it was mental. All, not just in England but across the world as well. It was just it was real hard to take in.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these situations don't happen often, thankfully, in boxing. But when they have happened, the boxing community, as small as it is, has got together.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I just want to say thanks to everyone that donated money and everyone who ripped me messages. Mass thanks to Adam Etches, Kel Brook for doing what they've done. Mass thanks to David Hay, doing what they've done. And David Hay, he still texts me now, just like giving me advice on stuff to do, and he wants to give me a role in commentary, which would really be different, maybe something that that I'd probably be good at, but I'd enjoy. So give that a crack. I say it's all like coming out of it's all there's loads of positives.
Were you meant to be at David Hayes' fight? Were you meant to be coming there?
Yeah, I was, and I drove up to London. I didn't drive it myself, but I can't drive at the moment. But I went up to London, and my head was all over the place. I think it was a bit too much at the time, and it does take a while just to take everything in your head. It just did. It took months after the fight. It took 6-7 weeks to feel a little bit back to normal. It's a bit weird. You can't explain it until you obviously don't want to go into a coma, but it is a little bit weird, taking everything in.
So, I mean, we're sort of 3 months on from there now. What sort of stage are you at towards becoming 100%?
I feel 100% now.
Yeah.
I'm training once or twice every day, just keeping fit, keeping healthy. I think that helped me, my recovery process quicken. I speeding up as well, just because as soon as I was in the hospital, I was doing a little bit of training. When I woke up from my coma, I wanted to do stuff, but it was more to do with your head, just because you couldn't take stuff in, people talking to you, just spin you out a little bit. So I was just training my brain to do some word searches and crosswords and stuff. So I can remember them bringing a little test in, and it was what animal was this? And it was a giraffe or something, and he was I was actually finding it quite hard and struggling to realise what animal that was. It was just a bit of how am I struggling with this, and so I was just training myself in the hospital. When I got out, I was still training. I feel so much better now, loads better.
Because what you actually suffered was a bleed on the skull.
On the skull, yeah.
Not on the brain.
Not on the brain, yeah.
So, did the doctors say anything to you about, obviously, any concerns about sort of you just leaving your sort of regular life, forget boxing aside, but have they got any concerns about that? Have you got to go for checkups every now and again over the next course of how many months?
So I went to see, it was a bloke who done Richard Hammond, is it the Top Gear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a bloke who done him in Bristol, and I went to see him, and I come in with my mate Jakey, and he said, which one's Nick? And I was like, me, and I was just having a bit of banter with him, and he's like, you'd never think that you just come out of a coma because you're quite sharp in the head, and he goes, I'm supposed to see you every 3 months, but I don't think I'm going to have to. So that was quite an encouraging sign. He said, don't fly for a month, because the pressure obviously on your head, don't want it to bleed again, because if it did happen again, it'd be a lot worse. Obviously don't get punched in the face, and obviously I can't box again. But it was like I said, it was all positives. And I was supposed to not be able to drive for 6 months, but I've been out in my mate's car, a hire car with my mate in there, just seeing how I am. I wouldn't put myself in that position if I felt ready. And I drove up to Liverpool the other day with my mate in there, I felt fine. So I said I'm back to 100%. I'm in the gym every day. Just feel good.
That's good. It's like I said to you, it's a positive sight to see you speaking so, like I said, freely and as if we know something has happened, but as if nothing has happened. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I've been lucky. I've been lucky, and I just want to say thanks to all the doctors up in St Mary's in London for the way they helped me. I was probably a bit of a nuisance when I woke up, and I was all morphined up, giving them abuse and stuff. All the nurses, doctors in the IUH, and Dr. Sonny as well, the boxing ball control doctor, who saved my life. I was in the back of the ambulance after the fight, and he induced me into a coma in 30.5 minutes, and I actually flatlined for about a minute, and he woke me back up. So I just want to say massive thanks to him. I've already spoke to Dr. Sunni and give some food, because I think I am a bit of food for saving my life. So yeah.
Sorry, Nick, something we haven't spoke about is obviously the referee himself.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of questions about should the referee stopped it earlier, etc. Victor Loughran, very, very good referee, very experienced. What are your thoughts about the referee?
Again, if it went 12 rounds, people wouldn't be moaning, would they? Because obviously I went to a coma, they said that the referee should have stopped the fight. But I'm that sort of fighter. I do take a lot of shots. I don't help myself sometimes. Eubanks was catching me with a lot of shots, but I don't think he should have stopped the fight. I even spoke to him, and he said, Gary Lockett spoke to him and said, because he was getting a hard time as well. And Gary Lockett rang him up and just said, "Don't worry about it. Nick's not." He thought that I and my family were disappointed in him not stopping the fight, but obviously we weren't. I'm known for being quite tough, coming on strong later in the rounds, but he said that there was no point in the fight that I could have stopped the fight. Like every time you were taking punches, like in the 7th round, that was the only probably the point where I could have jumped in. He goes, you're taking a lot of shots, but then you'd smile at him and throw some shots back. He's like, I just couldn't find a point where I could have stopped the fight. If I did stop the fight, then I would have got accused of stopping the fight too early. But like I said, it's just because I did go into a coma and people had to have their opinion. But like I said, he's a really, really good referee. He's refereed my fights before. Knows what sort of fighter I am. No, he done exactly the right thing.
And like we spoke about earlier on, that the swelling of your eye was an absolute blessing in disguise for the referee to make that call to stop it. Because,
exactly, yeah.
We don't dread to think what could have happened, should we say, afterwards. So,
Yeah, the swelling was a blessing in disguise, and like I said, the referee stopped it exactly the right time. I'm back to normal now, so I'm feeling 100%, so it's all good now.
It's all good. I just want to finish off by just talking to you just for a little bit on, obviously, since you haven't been boxing, the middleweight scene is here, there and everywhere at the moment, and it's thriving as well, especially domestically. What are your thoughts on, obviously, 2 now former opponents in Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubanks being linked with a fight with Gennady Golovkin? I see some comments you made on Sky Sports, but do you believe that even one of them is capable of even beating Golovkin? Do you think they'll get the Golovkin fight, either of them?
Fair play. They both wanted the Golovkin fight. Fair play. And your fight, no man's invincible. Billy Joe Saunders has got the technical ability to, outbox Golovkin. He could, I think Golovkin is out on his own little level at the moment. And Eubanks Jr., he's very, very tough, very fast, very fit. He's thriving at the moment. And what did I say in the Sky Sport? I said Chris Eubanks is probably not, if he has a fight with Tom Dawn, then going up to Golovkin, I just think he should have a few more fights, just because he lost to Billy Joe Saunders, who was world class, and people still doubt on that Billy Joe would beat Golovkin. So fair play to Eubanks wanting to fight with Golovkin. He's got everything there to put up a real good fight. If he won the fight, then fair play to him. It's good for us Brits, isn't it? He's a British fighter. But I just think he needs a few more fights. Rematch Billy Joe Saunders would be a good fight. That'd be a good build.
That's the kind of fight that everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
No one would argue with Saunders against Golovkin or Eubanks against Golovkin, but I think the fight the general public really want to see is the pair of them rematch.
Yeah, because they obviously don't like each other. They've
don't they?
both. I don't really do that. As a fan, I'd be really buzzing to see that fight again, because the first fight was quite good. Billy Joe won the first half fight, and then Eubanks.
It was a close fight.
It was a close fight, and I was there watching that fight. And but Billy Joe's got better, Eubanks got better. So you put them two together, not just because, like you were saying earlier, Golovkin, great fighter. People who know boxing know Golovkin as one of the fighters to avoid. But people who don't necessarily know so much about boxing won't have a clue who Golovkin is. But around Billy Joe Saunders and Eubanks Jr., a lot of people know them two names. They're quite big characters in their own little way, aren't they? So you put them two together and put a big fight on, it will sell out a big arena, I think, and be a fight that I'd be interested in. I think everyone else would be interested in as well. Not just a fight, but the build up to it.
I think they'd get you in for commentary duties that day. I think there's nailed on commentary duties for Nick if the pair of them were to fight. But I mean, like I said, they've got you've had your sort of part to play in both their careers, and their sort of saga, I believe, will go on to be a great rivalry.
Yeah,
so we've already had one fight. I think it's inevitable that we will see a rematch at some point. With that probably more likely for next year. But,
hopefully. Because like you said, the first fight was close. So the second fight, would be a close fight again. And it'd be people Team Eubanks, Team Saunders. It'd be a 50-50 fight. I think at the moment Billy Joe Saunders probably got that better amateur pedigree and the better boxing skills, but Eubanks Jr.'s got a lot better since they've both fought. Be a good fight. Be a real good fight. Who do you think you win?
I'm going to sit firmly on this little bit of fence here.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to sit firmly on this bit of fence here.
I know. I hope the fight does happen, because it'd be a fight that I'd be interested in watching. I think it's a more interesting fight than either them two fighting each other than either of them fighting Golovkin, to be fair. A bigger fight.
For this country, I think, like I said, what what's going on with. Like, we know Chris Eubanks fighting Tom Doran, and then after that,
That's a hard fight though.
I mean, yeah.
People don't know too much about Tom Doran.
No, they've seen him in a great fight with Luke Keeler, where he was dropped, got up, and ended up coming and winning the fight. But like I said, I don't think Tom Doran's coming there to sort of
I'll make up
lay
numbers.
down
No, of
or
course not.
make up numbers. So
Yeah, no, he hasn't really been. You know, you don't know what level Tom Doran's at. 'Cause he hasn't really fought anyone at a high level such as Eubank. But it'll be good. It's a show whereabouts he is. You know, in the middleweight division. But I think Eubank will win. But it'll be a good fight. But yeah, like I said, the British middleweight thriving at the minute. A lot of big fights out there.
Nick, is he the real deal?
Who's that?
Eubank?
I think he is. Yeah. He's got everything going for him. He's fast. He's fit. He's strong. His boxing ability is regular. He's getting better and better every fight. I watched the fight back. I mean, he puts his combinations together so well as well. He's fast. He's tough as well. He took some big shots off Spike, didn't he? I caught him a few times, and yeah, he's got everything there to be a world champion. So there's big fights in the future for him.
Okay, well, Nick, listen, thank you very much for giving us quite a bit of your time today.
And just come down, mate. It was a bit of a long drive, wasn't it?
That's all right.
Got Nando's out of it.
I did get a pure chicken out of it. But, do you play the guitar?
I'll just leave it there to make it look like I play guitar.
All right, well, listen, thank you very much for giving us your time. And like I said, like I said, in these situations, I always think that there's the sort of the risk of fighters sometimes getting forgotten about and people not really remembering, you know, some great nights of boxing that you gave. But I'm sure you'll stay active with, your team is still Gary Lockett. And
I'll still be involved in
fighters.
everything, and I'll still be involved. I don't want to do any more interviews after this talking about the Eubanks because people still think
so is this the last interview you're going to do about this?
just I don't want to do any more. And every time I've done an interview, they just take little snips out and they keep putting it out there. So it looks like I've been talking about it the whole time, just bored of the whole situation now, and we've both moved on.
Well, I might just label this Blackwell's last ever interview talking about anything to do with anything. No, but like I said to you, good luck in whatever you decide to do. Like I said, under the wing of Gary Lockett, can see you becoming a trainer. He's the young, like I said, protege.
Boom.
Yeah.
I got on holiday as well now.
Yeah, you got holiday already.
Got on holiday, yeah.
Holiday to Spain already, just
Yes.
from doing this interview. You got one. And listen, I'm sure, like I said to you, we'll catch up with you soon. So, like I said, I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming down, Goo. Nice one.
No problem. KUGAN CASSIUS here with Nick Blackwell for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Boom.